welcome back to another screencast on graphs. This is the first one that you should watch on straight line graphs, y equals mx plus c, and we're drawing it and we're using a table to help us draw it. So if this is not the first one you're watching, then it doesn't really matter, but if at all possible, watch this one first. So what is a straight line graph? Straight line graphs, better known as linear graphs. The equation we normally use is y equals mx plus c. We're going to go over that in a minute, but nothing to worry about. We're actually going to use a table to help us draw these really, really well. Please make sure you watch all of the straight line graphs because each of them has some information that will make more sense as it builds up. Here's an example. Okay, we've got our y-axis here and our x-axis. That's really important we understand those. We have our x values and our y values. And we've got a graph and it's linear, and you can see it's got a consistent upward direction. There are no wiggles or turns or ups and downs. It's linear, which means it goes up consistently or down consistently, I might say. So let's give it an example, a go. Here's our values. Now, a word of warning, in an exam, they don't always give you a table to fill in. Sometimes they do, but there's nothing stopping you from filling a table in yourself. Here's the equation that we use, y equals mx plus c. In another screencast, I'll go over exactly what this means, but for now, we're not going to worry about that too much. And we need our equation, which is the one we're going to work with, to work through our values. Okay, so I'm just going to bring up the graph now because it'll make a bit more sense. But what we're going to do, very simplistically, is we're going to change the x here for a number. Okay, now this number, this x value is going to change. So we're going to do this equation 5 times. All right, and each time we're going to take x out and put in the number. So we're going to go take the x out and put in 0, take the x out and put in 1, take the x out and put in 2, take the x out and put in -1, take the x out and put in -2. The reason for that is, what we're trying to do is we're trying to plot our points along here. So we want to start with 0 and we want to put, that's the x value, so what's the y value going to be? So forth and so on. So we're going to do that now. So the first one is we're going to take away the x, y equals 2 times 0 plus 1. So 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 equals 1. So we can say that the y value for this one is 1. Okay, so that would be 0, 1. So I could plot that point there. Okay, x value of 0, which is here, and a y value of 1, which is here. So I go along the corridor and up the stairs. Okay, so the next one's going to be 1. So we're going to take away the x and we're going to replace it with 1. So this one is y equals 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1, y equals 3. Okay, so we're going to go across the x value up to 3, put another mark. Then we're going to do the same thing one more time, and then I'm going to show you the cheats way of working out the negatives, because we don't always like negatives, not all of us. So y equals, and again I'm going to go 2 times, in this occasion I'm going to go for 2 here. 2 times 2 plus 1. So you can just see every time I'm taking away the x value, so I'm substituting in the number for the letter. So y equals 4 plus 1, y equals 5. So 5 there. And we can see there that we're going to go across to 2, so we're going along the corridor to 2 and up the stairs to 5 there. Now, what we'll see is that there's a consistent amount that this is going to go up. So we can see here from 1 to 3 is 2. From 3 to 5 is 2. So we can very quickly do the negatives by subtracting 2 away. So what would be 1 subtract 2 would be -1. Another 2 away from that would be -3. And we can do those now. So -1 would be there. And then we've got -2, -3 would be there. And we can see that it's a straight line. That is very, very important because we must have a straight line. It is a straight line graph. It is a linear graph. So please make sure that happens. You can obviously take away x and put in -1. So we could do that now just to show that we are working. Y equals 2 times -1 plus 1. 2 times -1 would be -2 plus 1. That gives us -1. But some people don't like working in negative, so I just try to make sure I cover both bases. Let's just see if we're correct. And there we go. So I want you to give this next one a go. Now you might only just be able to fill in the table, but it's well worth you trying to fill in the table. Remember, you're taking away each one as it goes. Now the reason why I start with 0, because it's the easiest one, and I move up positives, and then I just go and subtract off for the other two. Give it a go and come back and see if you've got it correct. All right, so let's have a little look here. So we're going to start with 0, so y equals 2 times 0 minus 2. Y equals 0 minus 2, so y must equal minus 2. Let's do the next one now. We've got y equals 2 times 1 minus 2. So y equals 2 minus 2, y equals 0. And let's do the last one now. Let's just draw a line there. Y equals 2 times 2 plus, minus 0. So we've got y equals 4 minus 2, so y equals 2. And we can see that each time it's going up by 2. So we've gone from minus 2 to 0, from 0 to 2. So if I take 2 off, I'll go minus 4. If I take another 2 off, I go minus 6. Or I could go about putting all of those into the equation and working through like that. Now, it's really key to do 3 points before you then just look for that, I would say, cheats way of doing it, but the easy way of doing it, because we must have at least 3 points just to check that we've done it correctly right from the start. So let's now put it onto a graph. So let's start at 0. So we've got 0 minus 2, so we'll go there. I've got 1 and 0, which is there. I've got 2 and 2, which is there. And we can see the straight line occurring, can't we? So now let's do the minus 1 and minus 4. And then minus 2 and minus 6, which would be just there. Let's see if we're correct. And there we go, we are. Okay, this is our last one, I hope, before we go into the quiz. A nice, easy one. So we're going to take away the letter and put in the number and see how we've done. So give it a go, come back and see if you're correct. Okay, so let's go to the first one. We've got y equals 0 plus 1, y equals 1. The next one would be y equals 1 plus 1, so y equals 2. And then the next one, we've got y equals 2 plus 1 and y equals 3. So we can see it's going up by 1 each time. So if we go down by 1, we're going to end up with that. Let's fill in our graph. We're going to start with the negatives this time. We're going to start with minus 2, minus 1. We're going to go minus 1, 0, which is there. We're going to go 0, 1, 1, 2, and 2 and 3. You can see as a nice straight line has occurred. Remember, if you don't get that nice straight line, check you're working. Let's see if we're correct, and we are. Okay, guys and girls, it's time for you to give it a go yourself. There is only one to do here, so I haven't drawn out the table. Please draw out your own table. I've said from values from minus 2 to 2, just like what we've been doing. This is kind of a question you might get. They might not always have the table for you to copy out. But anyway, give it a go. Come back and see if you're correct. All right, here we go. There goes our answer. So I've done a table there. I've got my answer. It's a nice line. I've plotted all my points. And that's really key. I've plotted all my points and I'm happy days. If you've got that correct, fantastic. If you haven't got it correct, go back, watch the video again. Even if it takes you 3 or 4 goes, it will eventually go in and you will be that little bit better. And it's really important as you go through the straight line graphs that you get every stage of it correct, because it'll make it much easier in the future. Right, thanks very much. Write that revision card. Have a great day, evening, whatever you're doing right now, enjoy it. And as always, it's been a pleasure helping you with your maths tonight or today or in the morning or after a run or whatever you've done.